All right, guys, I went for it. I ordered Dior's latest Privé collection fragrance called Cuir Saddle. It's in this box here. I haven't opened it up. I haven't got my nose on it. I actually communicate with a Dior rep at Saks Fifth Avenue in New York City. He said they're not going to get it in for a while. And knowing that it hasn't appeared at some of the department stores, I just went and ordered it directly from the Dior website. So this comes a year or so after Dior changed the bottle sizes and they launched Bois Talisman with the very first 200 ml bottle. They used to be in 250 ml bottles. Then also last year they launched Rose Star, which I smelled and I was like, I don't care for it. I don't need to have it. So I'm hoping that this is going to be better than Bois Talisman and Rose Star. And it's a gamble, but I did buy it. So it's a 2025 launch created by Francis Kurkdjian. It's a leather fragrance from what I've read. 200 ml, $465. Eau de Parfum Unisex. I do want to read a little something here. It says, Cuir Saddle, the second skin silhouette. Imagined by Francis Kurkdjian as a soft and sensual leather, Cuir Saddle disrupts the codes of the leather accord in perfumery, echoing the Dior It bag that reinterpreted leather in the 2000s. This fragrance for women and men reveals luminous facets of white flowers elevated by light woods. Soft and sensual, it melts into the skin in an organic and intimate embrace. Like the saddlebag, the fragrance becomes an extension of the body, a trompe l'oeil leather worn like a second skin. So that's what it says. Let's open this box up. Those of you that have gotten your nose on it, let me know where exactly you got your nose on it, because I'm assuming this is already in stores in Europe, but if New York Saks didn't have it, I don't know which stores have it in the States, but let me know which stores you got your nose on, if you're in the States or if you're in Europe or maybe Asia or something. Do let us know so we can get an idea. Usually Dior does launch a Privé fragrance in January-ish, I should say. This did, I think I started receiving comments about this in December. So I think in December it was already out at some stores. So there's how the box came. Look at that. Nicely packed. Great presentation. And got this for the receipt. I'll put that aside. But they go all in with the attention to detail. I hate to kind of tear into that, but I'm going to have to. This is the only thing with these boxes. I like how these boxes are, but they don't put any padding in it, and it's already kind of torn there. So I can't really re-gift that box, unfortunately, sadly. Okay, so let's see. Big ribbon, huge ribbon. More packaging. It's a lot of packaging, I should say. Look at that. Even more paper. There it is. Cuir Saddle. But there's something here. One sample of Bois Talisman. I actually requested a sample of Ombre Nuit, but I didn't get that. And then a broken sample of Dior Capture, whatever the heck that is. They did say they were giving me this gift. I have no, it's a keychain, it says. Anyway, let's open this up and see what it's all about. I'm excited. I'm hoping for some good stuff. It's been a bummer of disappointing releases with Dior. But I should say, I don't think Francis is running the show here. I think LVMH is. And maybe he's just taking direction. Although I should also say, I haven't seen anything really exciting come through with MFK's fragrances as well. But let me show you this. So I think this actual casing is the same size as the 250 ml bottle from what I remember. So this is the 200 ml, obviously, because now they are no longer making 250 ml. This is a 250 ml. So the boxes are, wow, they're identically sized. So that's the 250 and that's the 200. So they did a job on this and they made the bottle just a little thinner. But let's go ahead and quickly smell this and give you my thoughts. But to let you know the notes breakdown, which I kind of read with everything I read. Leather, floral notes is what it says on Dior. But some of the other databases say leather, suede, musk, flowers, amber woods. And then another one says amber woods, floral notes, musky notes, smoky notes, suede. All right, here we go. Is this going to be the good one? Am I going to be happy with this? Or is it going to be a complete dud? Before I spray it, let me know. Let's hope. It's pretty light. So I read the the description and everything. I read the part about the second skin. So going into this, you know, it's not going to be beastly. It's not going to be a projection monster. It's closer to the skin. So it's not really strong. There's something quite minerally about it. This requires the skin. Going all in on both sides. So they're not lying about the amber woods. I can smell it really strong. The amber woods in this is reminding me a little bit of the amber woods that the perfumer for Matière Première uses. So I have to say I like this more than Bois Talisman, but it's going to require a lot of sprays. It's slightly musky, not super strong musky on me yet. Either my nose is tricking me, but I don't get much floral notes. But I think it's the amber woods that's kind of creating, like covering it up or something. Yeah, I do like this more than Bois Talisman, and definitely like it more than Rose Star, which I did not buy. There's a slight bit vintage something happening as well. But I feel like the fragrance is pulling me into multiple directions. It has multiple sides. And I'm having a hard time focusing on one side. I mean, it's mostly leather. There's something super sexy and almost vintage-like on one side, and a lot of amber woods on another side. Wow, as I put my nose to my skin, there is definitely a slight funk there. I think the negative for this one is the fact that it's a skin scent. It's really close, not much projection. But as a smell, I'm quite digging it. All right, let's go ahead and go all in and spritz more and then come back and let you know more about this. It's definitely very much close to the skin experience, which is who's wanting fragrances like this, especially a leather. I mean, a leather, you want to experience all of its qualities, but maybe it's made for a person that wants leather but doesn't want it to scream, wants it to be a bit musky and animalic still. I quite like it. There's something soapy. Like that soapy part is giving me vintage vibes. But the only thing that I feel like it's clashing when I'm getting the vintage vibes and the soapiness with that leather, the amber woods clashes a little bit because it's so modern that it kind of throws me off. I feel like I'm smelling something old school, classic, vintage leather, soapy and maybe chypre-like, and then you get the amber woods come in. It's quite strong and potent. Yeah. I like this one the most so far, even more than the what's the one he did, the very first Privé he did. It was it'll come to me, but let me go ahead and spritz them on and wear this for an hour and come back and let you know a little bit more about it. But definitely I'm digging this one out of all of the ones that he's done so far. And the only thing I'm not liking is the fact that it's kind of quiet and tame. All right, guys, it's been on for about 2 hours on skin. It's still going strong. And when I say strong, it doesn't necessarily mean it's super beast mode. This is more of a skin scent style of creation. But for me, it's got great lingering power. It's also gotten smoother, it's blended, but I can still point out the very harsh overdosing of the amber woods. And at this time, it kind of reminds me of some of the Matière Première fragrances that have an overdose of amber woods, like most importantly, vanilla powder, which to me, you can really smell how strong the amber woods is. And it's also quite strong here in Cuir Saddle. But eventually it gets smoothed out. Everything is blended. But I think when you separate your nose from your hand, you come back to it, it does stand out. But as you're, in the cloud of the perfume, it's all blended kind of smoothly. And I actually think that this is quite sexy as a wearing experience. So the leather is still there. There are floral notes. I feel like there's also rose here, maybe a little bit of rose and also some patchouli, which together with the combination of the creaminess of the flowers and the standout of something patchouli-like, something earthy, mixed in with the amber woods and the leather, I think it's quite sexy. It wears quite nice. It wears quite vintage to me. It doesn't smell like Cuir Saddle at all from what I remember, because I've never bought Cuir Saddle. Always wanted to buy it, but I never did. But I don't think it reminds me of Cuir Saddle, but it does definitely has kind of a vintage styling to it with a modern twist, especially for the fact that it has that overdose of the amber woods that you can totally smell. I'm going to recommend this one as my favorite of the Francis Kurkdjian creations of the Dior Privé fragrances, but I was hoping it would excite me a little more for its intensity, but I guess they set out to create something closer to the skin and not super beast mode. Let's go back to two of the previous fragrances as well. The only one I don't have is Rose Star, but Bois Talisman came out a year ago. And between Cuir Saddle and Bois Talisman, there was already the Rose Star, which I didn't buy. And a year before that, was it New Look? I think New Look launched around December 2023 into 2024. I actually shot my video of it while I was in Japan. I was on a vacation there, but let's quickly go over New Look. Here's New Look. They basically redid New Look 1947, which was a completely different style of fragrance, was focused on benzoin. It was ambery, resinous, and they did a completely new fragrance here. They gave us more of an aldehydic, peppery, incensey, smoky, minerally kind of fragrance. I don't hate this one. I like it. I don't love it. This one seems to be a bit more robust in comparison to Cuir Saddle as well. It's got more projection, and I think it's the kind of notes there are. It's quite effervescent, I think. It's also kind of clean and soapy, but very peppery, very smoky, and minerally as well. So let me know if you're a fan of New Look. What are your thoughts? Aldehydes, it's a not a challenging note for me, but not a note that I really love and appreciate. Then we have Bois Talisman. This one I felt like was a complete dud. Not my favorite fragrance, sadly. I'm sure it has an audience. I'm sure anybody that hasn't smelled the fragrance, what is it called, By the Fireplace, would probably really dig this, because it does have quite a lot of reminders of the fragrance By the Fireplace. It's different and it's very similar. So it's very syrupy, kind of smoky woods, ambery, but you know, By the Fireplace is known for the chestnuts, and this does have that kind of a slight nutty, kind of chestnutty touch or experience. So you're going to be reminded of it. So none of the fragrances have been super exciting. None. And when Francois Demache was here, he was, releasing some great ones. Like he left us with Eden Rock, which is not one of my favorites, but Vanilla Diorama, which turned out to be a great one. I love it. And also Color is also really awesome. Those were kind of beastly, intense fragrances. And I think that Francis Kurkdjian has that kind of minimalist touch, especially for his brand MFK. So he's kind of bringing it on here. And I think the reception has been quite negative. So let me know if you have a favorite Dior Privé fragrance currently from the four that Francis Kurkdjian has created. Not one of the earlier ones like Cologne Blanche and Eau Noire, which got discontinued again. But of course, New Look, Bois Talisman, Rose Star, and now Cuir Saddle. Again, Cuir Saddle for me is quite sexy. I love it. And I wish it was just a bit more potent. And then I think it would be almost perfect. But as somebody that likes fragrances louder, I would have to end up spraying this a lot more. The negative for this also is the fact that the pricing is different now. You're paying the same price, $465 for 200 ml, and they're basically keeping 50 ml of the juice now because they downsized the bottles. But go in and check this out. Again, I don't know when it'll be at stores. My New York Saks rep told me it hasn't come yet. That's why I ordered it. But once it hits the US shelves, perhaps you guys can go and check it out. Just expect the fact that it is kind of a not super loud, more of a skin scent, but you know, you'll notice the leather, you'll notice the floral notes, you'll notice the amber woods quite a bit. Those are what's really running. And then the floral notes kind of develop more. I think the floral notes come in afterwards and they kind of smooth out the intensity, the roughness of the leather and the amber woods. Those are pretty strong, especially the amber wood. And if you're sensitive to amber woods and ambroxan, you're probably not going to like this one because it is really stand out. And I thank vanilla powder for this because I hated vanilla powder because the amber woods were so super heavy. So I've gotten used to it and I'm kind of used to it here as well. And I should also say Matière Première also has that crystal saffron, which also really bothered me. But I love amber woody fragrances and ambroxan and things like that. So I am appreciating this one. But you can totally notice it here. It's really stand out. But eventually it smooths out and it turns into a very sexy fragrance. So those are my thoughts on Cuir Saddle. I'm going to spray myself with it now and go home. I like it. There's a classic touch about it. Don't forget, there's definitely a reminder of a classic DNA. And maybe that's why I'm digging it. What do you guys think? I read or heard somebody say that it reminds them of the dry down or the DNA of Francis's creation for Narciso Rodriguez. For him, I don't get that whatsoever. In fact, this might be a bit more similar to Narciso Rodriguez for her, the original. I don't know. It gives me more of that vibe a little more than the men's. But I'll pull it out and compare it. But I'm a big fan of Narciso Rodriguez for him. I wish I had a couple of backup bottles. It's definitely nothing like that because that was full of violet leaves and things like that. Even the EGP, the more stronger version, doesn't remind me of it, which kind of went more musky. But let me know your thoughts. Does it sound great to you? Add a comment below. Have you sampled it? Do let me know what your thoughts are. And thanks so much for watching today's video on Dior's latest Privé collection fragrance, Cuir Saddle. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon so it'll give you notifications for future videos. And also, please give a thumbs up for this video so it helps with the algorithm. See you later. Bye-bye.